The first question is pharma. This is for Ronak. Healthcare is a diverse sector with many sub-industries like APIs, formulations, diagnostics, etc. However, when you look at our portfolio, there are 4 to 5 names: Cipla, Sun Pharma, Dr. Reddy's, Ipca Labs, Zydus. Most of these companies derive their revenues from the US generic market, which now seems to be a broken business due to loss in pricing power. What is our approach to stock selection in this industry, and why do we seem to be more bullish on the US generic market over other subsectors? So that's one sub question. The second one is, what are your views on the long-term growth potential of some of the subsectors mentioned?
So pharma as a sector, when we started investing in that space, the biggest challenge facing the companies at that time were the FDA warnings, and plants were banned from exporting to the developed markets. So it seemed like a very interesting buying opportunity, because in the past, whenever there have been warnings or alerts or export bans, the companies would have resolved these issues over the next coming years, and then the plants were allowed to resell or resume selling to the markets from where they were banned. And the same thing has happened in many of the pharma companies. That was one of the entry points where we decided to enter. But when we saw many of the companies, some broad characteristics were similar to them. One was, most of these companies had a reasonably strong balance sheet. They had a global presence in terms of marketing presence, and selling to different countries, not just the US or North America, but even in developed Asia, even in Europe, even in domestic market, they were pretty strong. So these companies had a diversified sales presence. Number three, they had diversified product presence also. They were not deriving huge amounts of profits from, say, a handful of products. They had a different vertical, what they say, basically about ophthalmo projects, or gastric drugs, or heart drugs, or central nervous system, or clinical drugs for that point of view. These different portfolios also were there. So you had a variety of products, good balance sheet, management's ability to sell different places, and the price point was so attractive because of the FDA issues. That's when some of the positions entered into the portfolio. Another interesting thing about these companies, so one aspect is the US piece, where these companies derive a disproportionate revenue and profit from the US market. Most people think it is dying, but in fact, many of the products that are there, which are coming off the patent cycle, are actually companies products which these companies have already done R&D on, and whenever the generic product will be launched, some of these products will be marketed in that market as well. Whether it is broken or not, and whether pricing power is gone, which is again a cyclical aspect of all these products, as more and more companies start getting a generic capability of making the old products, the product's price keeps falling in the market. This is the trend in the generics market. Whether generics drugs will be required or not, I think is not debatable, because most countries who are buying drugs, most people who are buying drugs, the price of drugs wanting to be cheaper and cheaper, that trend is going to continue. And wherever we have manufacturing presence at scale, and they can profitably make these products, people will find some cyclical problems in at some points in time. But I think pharma as a basket should do okay. Now, whether in this basket these are the best companies to own, or some other companies could have been, so we keep evaluating that. And in the past, most investors would have noticed that we have sold Lupin and we bought Cipla, that kind of change. And we keep on continuously adding to existing positions. But essentially, we want to hold it as a basket rather than buying one company where we may not know whether that one company's fortunes will do well or not compared to the rest of the basket.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.